Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey Diaries. My name is Martin Lang and we're here at Death and Taxes, and we're going to be talking about KILCHOMAN, specifically the KILCHOMAN Sanaig. Now, before we jump into the whiskey itself, a little bit of history on the distillery. The distillery was created in 2005 after almost 103 years of no new distilleries in Islay. Nowadays, there's obviously new distilleries that happen, but this is the newest distillery after such a long period of time. KILCHOMAN is one of the only distilleries, the only distillery in Islay that is actually inland. You can still sort of see the beach from the distillery itself, actually more predominantly Market Bay, but it's nothing like what Lafroig, Lagavulin or Bruichladdich are, even Ardbeg, which distilleries are literally in front of the ocean. They're like on the coast and the waves hit them all the time. Even saying so, you still get saltiness and iodine from the distillery itself, and that means that that is due to Islay being such a barren, harsh weather island. The distillery is part of a farm, so basically when you go to actually the distillery, it's funny because you don't actually. There's a sign, but the sign for the distillery itself is tiny down at the bottom, and then there's like 3 other signs that say like you can visit the ship or you can see the farm. So because it's on a farm, they are one of the only distilleries in Islay that they do everything on site. So they grow their own barley, they distill on site, they bottle on site, they age on site. So everything is done on site, 100%. That's why they do a couple of releases that is 100% Islay whiskies, which is basically a whiskey done 100%. Now the malting, they have their own malting floor, but sometimes they do get some of the malt that are coming directly from Port Ellen. The Port Ellen malt is actually 50 ppm, and the malting floors that they have in KILCHOMAN, they actually do a 20 ppm. So when they blend it together, it's an average about 35 ppm, depending on the blend and depending on the name of the whiskey. Now, Sanaig is an interesting whiskey per se because the first release of Sanaig was released in 2016, and it was only released for the French market. Now, in 2006, when it got released, it still won the best no-age statement whiskey from Islay, and now they just released a new Sanaig that is from 2020. The 2020 we'll review later on. We don't have it just yet. I'm trying to find some stock in Australia because in Australia things always take a little bit longer to arrive since we're so far away. But the 2016 is a beautiful whiskey. The interesting part as well is that in this case, the 2016 is 50-50 on American oak and Oloroso sherry. The 2020, when you see the color difference as well, which we'll do a comparison, the 2020 is 70% Oloroso sherry and 30% American oak. The 2020 also won Best Islay Whiskey in the World, which is a quite impressive award to get. Now, what you will get, the ABV of this whiskey, well, like all the core range, is 46% ABV. I read somewhere a good description between the 3 core range. So the 3 core range, you got Market Bay, then you got the Sanaig, and then the third one that we currently don't have as well is the Logmorn. The rainbow, basically the color coding of those 3 whiskies is like obviously the Market Bay being the lighter, then the medium, and then the Logmorn that is fully sherry cask comes the darkest. The 2020 the 2020 actually goes darker than the Logmorn in this stage, so this will move over here. We'll do a comparison later on once we have all the whiskies to showcase. But going back to this one, I really enjoy, as I said before, when whiskey distillers put the notes, the tasting notes on the back of the bottle. It gives you, obviously tasting is very subjective and you should make your own mind about how a whiskey tastes and what you find in the whiskey, and that's the beauty of whiskey. Whiskey has as many flavors as wine does, so it's a really, really complex spirit. So you can get whatever you can get, basically it's very subjective. So what you can read on the back of the label here is like cooked fruits with caramel and vanilla. Then you got on the palate, you got toffee, peat, smoke, and citrus. All of these flavors are characteristics more of something like predominantly American oak, but also the spiciness or the soft cooked fruits you'll get from something like it's like a sherry cask and stuff. So on the nose is actually quite fruity, considering that you can smell the smoke, but it's just not as smoky, it's not as strong as what you can get from the Market Bay, I believe, personally. and it's a lot sweeter as well on the front. You can definitely taste the lemon and the citrus on it, on the palate. But then it's, yeah, definitely kind of like a lemon pie or lemon tart that you get at the back. It's actually really, really delicious. Obviously quite smoky. All the KILCHOMANs are heavily peated. Not obviously as much as Octomalt, but it's up there. It's quite, they're quite smoky. And at 46% ABV, you can really see the new make, like how good they are on the spirit. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening. If you have any requests or any recommendations that you would like to get reviewed, please let us know. And we'll see you next time. Slanjaba.